everyone, this is Tricia and welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to show you how to put together this lovely cemetery floral arrangement. Alright, so to create our cemetery floral arrangement, I'm going to be using this cemetery vase. It's a floral cemetery vase. Now, if you don't find something like this, you can just look for the piece of styrofoam, the cone-shaped styrofoam, and that can be used if you already have an existing urn or vase on the cemetery stone. But if there isn't a vase, this is what's really useful for that. It comes with this little part right here, which you would remove, and then this goes into the bottom here, and this would be inserted into the ground. Okay, this one I found at Hobby Lobby. It was $6. I did get it with a 40% off. You can find these pretty much at other floral craft stores, or you can go on Amazon and find one on there. Now here I've also got an assortment of flowers. I happen to have some sunflowers that I purchased at Hobby Lobby, and then this pretty assortment of little wildflowers, and then I've got some fern leaves that I want to use. So just pick the flowers that will be fitting to whom you want to place this for, whether it's your mother, father, brother, a friend, or a sibling. So just pick whatever flowers, and then you can decide if you want to do it in a specific theme, whether it's Mother's Day, Father's Day, maybe 4th of July, maybe you even want to decorate their stone for Easter. Alright everyone, I've got some pliers or wire cutters here. I've got scissors, I've got my glue gun, and I've got glue sticks. The reason that I'm using a glue gun is because I don't want any of these flowers to come off of here once it is placed out in the cemetery. The wind could pull them out very easily, or someone could actually pull one out. So we want to make sure they're all glued in so they don't fly out or fall off. Okay, so let's get started. Okay, so you're obviously going to want to remove the label that's on the plastic container here, or the vase. For time restraints, I'm not going to remove it. I'd have to do some soaking to get it off of here. And no, I'm not planning on returning it to the store because I am going to be hot gluing things in there. It's going to get all poked here on the styrofoam, so there's no way. Okay, so we're just going to pretend that this sticker is not on there. So you could just place it standing up like that. So don't put this little pick on it yet, because then you won't be able to stand it up and work on your arrangement. Now it's very light, it could tip over very easily. If you have that problem, get yourself another little vase or container to put it in and hold it down. Okay, so I'm going to start off creating a round floral arrangement in my container here. So I'm going to move my camera up a little bit because I need you to see the height, or maybe you can see it there. Yeah, let me move the camera up a little bit. Okay, so I'm going to actually put a sunflower as my focal flower. That is what I decided that it's going to be the main flower of my arrangement. So whatever your flower is, the largest one, that is your focal flower. And I'm going to cut these at the longest point off of the little branches here. But I don't need them to be too long. And I think I'm going to want maybe 3 of these for now. I might add another 2. Okay. So I'm going to get one that's the longest, which is probably, well, this one's also the prettiest, but it's got a little leaf down here, and that's going to be in the way, so I'm going to need to just trim that off. Okay, so I'm going to hold it up against my little vase here, and I'm going to decide, how high I want this to be. Now, the higher I go, the bigger my arrangement's going to have to be, the more flowers I'm going to need. If you don't have that many, keep that in mind, and maybe go a little bit lower. Okay, so now I know that I want it to be about this height, and I have a lot of stick here. Rather than sticking so much stick into it, which is not a bad idea, because again, we don't want it to come flying out, I'm going to trim just a little bit off so I don't have to push down too much. And I'm just going to add a little bit of glue to my stems as I'm putting them in there. Now, in the center here was where the little pick was in, so it's already got a little hole there, and that's too big for this particular stem. So I'm just going to go off a little bit to the side of it, and then just direct it so that it's centered. Push in a little bit more. So there we go. We want it centered right, obviously, the center of the vase. Okay, so now the other 2, I want them coming out this way. So I think I am going to use another 2. So that'll be 5 of them. Okay, so when I place the ones that are going to be going out to the side, I can keep looking at the same height of this one, and then consider how much of the stem has to go into the styrofoam. styrofoam. Let's put this in here. Keep it from falling over. Okay. And also this leaf down here is going to be in the way, so I'm going to go ahead and trim that off. You can use these little leaves for some other project. Okay, let me explain that again. What I did is I looked at the height of this flower and I measured it against that. And then I decided that this much was going to go into my styrofoam, which is about 3 inches. But instead of going straight down, I'm going to go at an angle, okay? So every time I do this, I'm going to put glue on my stem. Just push it in, and then I'm going to bend it a little bit, okay? So now I want to repeat the same on the opposite, and then I'm going to turn it around and put one here and one here. Altogether, I need 5 flowers. Now this one here looks to be about the right height. I don't have to trim anything off of it. Okay, turn it sideways, and I'm going to cut 2 more flowers. The styrofoam is nice and hard, so I know it's going to hold my arrangement. Okay, so there we go. Let me take it out. See, you can see that? So when you're looking at it from on top, this is what the arrangement is looking like. Okay, so now we want to fill this in with some other flowers. And that is why I have this smaller bush here. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to trim off every branch or every stem off of this bush at their longest point. Okay, so I've cut off all the stems off of this one. And I'm just going to take the price tag off. I don't want to forget that. That's usually what I first remove. Okay, so the next thing I do is I want to see what flowers I have, like which ones are the same. I have those that are the same. So I'm going to separate the similar stems. This has yellow and little berries and a purple. Okay, so there we go. There we have them all separated. And I like this tall yellow one. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to move some of these leaves upward, because I don't need this whole length. I don't want it to be like really much taller than what I already have here. It'll stick out just a little bit. And I have plenty of these. Actually, these two are more alike, so I'm going to use those. Let's put those over here. Let's move the leaves all the way up. That's the nice thing about these, that they have leaves that they can be moved upward. I don't want to crowd them up. I just want to move them up so that I have this stem that can be inserted. Oops. Now, if you have something like this that keeps falling off, just put a little bit of glue. That's because I pushed this leaf a little too much. Put a little glue and stick it back in. That way it won't come off again. Okay, so I have these 2 pieces. Again, let me pull it out of here. I'm going to compare the height. Now, it's coming out a little bit taller than that, but I'm going to put it at an angle. So I'm just going to push this leaf a little bit more because it is right where I want to insert it, and just give it enough length to insert. And I'm just going to fold it up a little bit or bend it. See, that's coming out right there. And I'll repeat with this other flower on the other side, opposite from that one. And then also do a little bending. So there we go. That's there. That's what it's looking like so far. Now I'm going to go on the opposites of those and use these white with a little bit of pink on there. I think I cut that one too short. I believe I did. Yes, that's okay. We're not going to stick it in as far. I'm recycling this, so that's okay. But make sure you don't do that. I want this little pink flower to show, so I don't want it to go too far in. Or you could switch the pink flower, you know, over with one of these white ones up here. If a flower is not in the position you want it, then take it off, which I will do. Take it off the little stem that it's in. And now remember, or not remember because I haven't mentioned it, but keep in mind that sometimes these will tear. The little bit will tear along with this. If that happens, just pull it out and then just put a little glue in there and insert it into some other little spot. There we go. We'll put the pink there on the edge, and then we'll put this white one where the pink one is. I'm adding a little bit of glue because since I pulled it off, it may have loosened this up. Actually, there's not a lot of room up there, but there is a little bit of stem sticking out here, so I'm going to stick it right in there. There we go. Like that. Okay, so before I do this one, let me go ahead and pull this little pink one off and switch it over with this one. Okay. Alright, if you are going to be putting this into the ground and you feel like this here, you don't like it, you can spray paint it. But just make sure you use a spray paint that is good on plastic, or like if you go to like Home Depot or Lowe's, those type of stores, get the type of spray paint that'll say maybe like for PVC, then you know that it'll stay on this plastic and it won't scratch off. But you could also wrap it up with some fabric or some paper, maybe even some ribbon if you want to do that. You could put a bow into this arrangement as well to dress it up a little bit more depending on the occasion. I'm not going to put one on there at this point, but you could certainly do that. I'm going to add a few more of these. I think I like the one with the little purple flower. Here we go. This one. To add yet another color. And then we don't have to put any more. So I'm just going to push up as much as I can here. And I want to put these somewhere where I feel like I need color. So here where I have all this yellow, I can put them right in there. Like so. So that's what I'm going to do. Leave a nice long stem because I want this one to pop out a little bit more. So I'll fold this yellow one down a little bit. Bend it. Not fold it, sorry. This is the one I just cut. Okay. And then we'll put that one to stick out the top here so that we have that pretty purple right there and then the pretty green right here. And I'll do the same to the other side. Okay, as you can see, this is already very full, and it's actually quite a big floral arrangement. As you can see, comparing it to the bottom here, the vase, so that's really nice. So all I really need to do now is just insert some greenery, and I showed you these fern leaves. Okay, so now I'm going to put some greenery in there, and I'm going to be using these fern leaves. I had originally taken this longer one here, and what I did is because the fern leaves were all the way down to here, is I trimmed them along the vein here, the hard plastic. I trimmed whatever there was of these off of this to give me a stem where I could actually insert it into my arrangement, but I felt like this was too big of a leaf. So I went into the bush of the fern bush that I had here, and I took out the smaller ones. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and prepare them. And these slide right off. And this one is actually already on a little stem. So we don't have to worry about that little one. Alright, so what I did to this one, this big one, I'm going to do it to the smaller ones. And this is all I did is I went right along the edge. And I trimmed off these leaves here, so that I have this long stem. Now at the bottom it's really wide, so I want to cut that off. So I'm going to use my wire cutters to cut off that hard plastic. Let's go this way. And just trim it off as best as you can. Okay, so now we have a nice sharp edge end there that we can insert into the styrofoam. So that's what we want to do with all of them. We're going to prepare them the same way. Alright, so I have prepared all of these smaller fern leaves to go into my arrangement. I'm going to take these two that I already have like a little bit of a stem, and I want to add a little bit of glue so that these don't come apart. This one's pretty well glued in there, but not this one. So let's add a little bit of glue in there. Stick it in there just so that doesn't come out. I'm going to use these two because they're a little bit taller and they're not as wide as these. The leaf is a little bit more daintier. I'm going to use these at the top of my arrangement. And I'm going to go, now remember between these sunflowers here, this one has 2 stems in there. This one only has this one. So this is where I'm actually going to put this little leaf. There you go, just like that. So I'm going to go opposite of that, which is over here, I put the fern right here, so I'm going to go over here. And then tuck those in. Now anywhere if you look in there and you still see styrofoam, then insert a little leaf in there. I'm going to take these other bits and let's see, I've got 4 of those. I got 2 more smaller ones. Let me go ahead and put these right about right here, a little bit higher between or right next to one of the sunflowers on this side, because I already put a fern here, so I'm going to go over here. Now opposite of this one, over here is where this one will go. And I went on this side of the flower, so I'm going to go on this side. Get those leaves out of the way first. There we go. Didn't push in very well. Let's push it. There we go. Okay. So there we go. Can you see the leaves, the fern leaves? Right here. And then these down here. And that's what the arrangement is looking like from the top. And if I look down into it, I really don't see the styrofoam. Now if I look on the side, yes, I can see it here. So that's where these are going to come in handy. This one's maybe a little long. I'm going to go ahead and trim it. I think these are a little long. I don't want to have to push them in so far because they're really thick pieces, stem. Okay. And because, you know, this rib back here also has the little bits that go out, you know, to the sides where this fabric is then glued onto. So you got to cut real close to make sure you cut those little bits of what I'm calling the ribs, okay? Because otherwise they'll keep you from being able to push it into the styrofoam well enough. Okay, so I'm just going to do these underneath. Go underneath each of these sunflowers here. There we go, just like that. And then I'm just bending it a little bit because it does have wire, so I'm bending it down a little bit. And that helps to camouflage the styrofoam when you look at it from the side. This is going to be on the ground more than likely. It's going to be close to the ground. So you don't have to worry too much about it. If you feel like you don't like seeing it, then go ahead and get some moss in there and cover up your styrofoam. Now I said I wasn't going to put a bow on it, but I'm kind of changing my mind. Maybe I should put one on it. Okay. Let me see if I can find a ribbon. Before I put this leaf on it, I'm going to see if I can find a nice ribbon that I can use to make a bow for this. Actually, I do have some. I'll just use some white ribbon and I'll put a bow on it. The reason that I'm waiting to put this leaf is because I want to put the bow on one side, like right here. So I don't want to put a leaf right here because it's just going to get covered with the bow. So instead I can use this leaf on the opposite side as well, where I just put this one just a little bit more open this way and get more greenery back here, and then a big bow right here. So that's what I'm going to do. And push it in. There we go. That's what it's looking like. Okay, so right here is where I want to put a bow, right in the front. So let me get my ribbon and I shall be back. Okay, so I just got some acetate ribbon right here. This is what that ribbon looks like. It is like a papery ribbon. These are perfect for outdoor arrangements, and they're less expensive by buying a large roll like this. Now the roll is not cheap, but when you make bows, each bow actually comes out less expensive than using a fabric ribbon. And these are great for outdoors. Okay, so I'm just going to make little loops, twist, and loop. And just make as many loops as you want. Please excuse my hands. They're super dry. I've been doing a lot of painting and a lot of washing of my hands. As you all very well know, that we have a kind of a little bit of a, well, not a little bit, it's serious situation going on, and we all have to keep washing our hands. I've been at home, but I have been out a little bit just with family. But, you know, we've had to be washing our hands a lot. Okay, turn that off. I hope y'all are just following the instructions you're supposed to be following. Keep away from large crowds. Wash your hands, or try to wash your hands immediately after maybe touching metal items, or, you know, even if you're around other people. Okay. And there we go. Those of us who are older, we have to be really careful, especially those of us who are a larger person, or if you have autoimmune disease, you gotta watch out. Okay, so what I usually do is I take a floral pick, and this is why I wasn't gonna make a bow, because I don't have a floral pick. I have a little wooden stick is what I have. It's called a floral pick, and you would tie the wire around it, and that would get inserted into here very easily, but I don't have one, so I'm going to, I see on the floor that I have a little piece of stem that I cut from one of the flowers. Excuse me while I grab it. Okay, so here's my little stick, so you'll see that you can pretty much use anything. This is a little piece of stem that I cut off from one of the flowers. I'm going to use that to tie this wire from my bow, and you're going to do it on one end, and then make sure you roll it in so it's nice and tight up against the bow like that, and then just put some glue on there so it doesn't come off. Put some glue on there, and then we'll let that dry. Okay, so we don't want to touch that, and then we can go ahead and put glue on the bottom part here, and then stick that into the styrofoam. We're going to go right in here, and look at that. How pretty is that? Okay, I want to push it in a little bit more, but of course, you know, I have the hot glue in there, so I'm going to wait for that to dry. But there we go. That's what it looks like, and that's what it looks like with a pretty bow. Of course, you'll put a bow that coordinates with your flowers. There we go. Maybe even the season. There we go. All right, everyone, so this is what my arrangement is looking like. It is now complete. I think it looks really pretty. This has been a cemetery floral arrangement. Now, it does have this little pick that we would insert at the bottom, and we would just push it in where it kind of clicks in there, and once you've clicked it in there, it's hard to pull out, so I'm not going to put it on there for now, but you would just push it in, and then this could be inserted into the ground. Again, if you don't find this particular type of container, but you do have a vase on the stone, then you could just use a cone-shaped styrofoam. Just measure the opening and then how far down, how deep it is, so that you'll only get the right size cone. And then just take a little craft knife with you, just in case you have to do a little bit of whittling off of the styrofoam, maybe some little extra pieces, so that in case it's a little too loose, you can push them in there and make it nice and tight. All right, everyone, I hope that you enjoyed this little tutorial. I think it came out really pretty, and I'm going to go ahead and take this little sticker off, because I think I'm going to take this over to my grandmother's plot. All right, everyone, I'm going to give myself a big old thumbs up. I hope that you too will give me a big old thumbs up, and thank you to everyone who has been subscribing. If you haven't, please do so, and hit the notification bell so that you get notified of when I put up my videos, which is every Tuesday and every Friday, and once in a while I have a weekend vlog. Now, please leave a nice comment down below, and if you have any suggestions of something that you'd like to see in a future video, just go ahead and put that in the comments. I also have a Facebook page. It's Tricia's Creations, and the link will be in the description box below. Please go there and to follow my page, and you will be able to post your own, either whether it's a food or a craft that you have done. You can go ahead and post your pictures on there, and you can comment on there, and just be nice so we can all share our ideas with each other. All right, everyone, make sure you share on your social medias, and as always, enjoy.